Which striker would you love to see West Ham United sign this summer? Let me know in the comments below. Get involved, and welcome to episode number 4 of my summer series. You haven't tuned into the other 3 episodes. First of all, why not? Where have you been? And second of all, this is where we do one video per position. So every position we believe that West Ham United are trying to sign a player for, we'll do a video for that position. I create a little shortlist, players I wouldn't mind seeing at West Ham, and at the very end of the video, I'll give you my pick, the player I would love to see at West Ham United. And obviously at the end of the series, I'll have my little geo wish list, and if you've been participating, you'll have your little wish list at the end as well. I'm looking forward to seeing it. This is a strikers edition. So far we've done the goalkeepers, the left back and the centre midfielders. Now before we crack on, got a couple of disclaimers. First of all, this video does contain Ollie Watkins, also contains another couple of strikers you've heard of that West Ham have been linked to. But there's also some strikers who perhaps haven't been the best so far in their careers or last season, but I really like them. I think they might make it, so I'm going to include them anyway. And second disclaimer is, this is completely made up. It's not realistic. It is very make-believe. There is no limits to the strikers that you would love to see at West Ham. It's a bit Football Manager, a bit FIFA. It's just a bit of fun. So before someone says, that's not realistic, I know, that's the point of the video, just to break up the summer transfer window, get away from all the rumours for a day or two. Anyway, get involved in the comments below, and I'm going to crack on with it with player number 1. Now let's get the obvious one over and done with, but spoiler, he's not my pick at the end of the video, and that is Aston Villa's Ollie Watkins, because I strongly believe that he is the perfect striker for David Moyes' West Ham United. The most similar to Mikel Antonio as well in the Premier League. In fact, if you took Antonio out and put Ollie Watkins in, I don't think you'd have to change anything. That tactics that we've used for the last 2 seasons, which has got us back-to-back European campaigns, we'd be able to use them next season with Watkins in the team instead of Mikel Antonio. In fact, you wouldn't even have to replace Mikel Antonio. He used to be a left winger before getting converted to a striker. This is sounding good for David Moyes, isn't it? So he could easily play alongside Antonio as well. But if I were to ask you to write down 5-10 things that you believe David Moyes is looking for in a striker for West Ham, and then tick off what Ollie Watkins covers, I'd imagine you'd be ticking off most, if not all, of those things. 26 years of age, good experience. English and homegrown, that's good as well. We need homegrown players into the squad. Back-to-back Premier League campaigns where he scored double figures, that's always a bonus, isn't it? I'll tell you what, if I was to ask you right now if you believe Watkins would score a minimum of 10 goals in Premier League next season, I'm pretty sure you'd be saying yes as well. His work rate is incredible. His pressurising, his pressing from the front as well, is also really good. Works the channels just like Mikel Antonio does. In fact, he does everything that Antonio can do. I strongly believe he is perfect for David Moyes. But, and this is the big part, and this is why he isn't my pick, and why I think it's unrealistic. For 2 reasons really. One, getting him out of Aston Villa. Would he even leave Aston Villa? I'm not 100% sure. And second of all, the price tag. If you were to get over the first hurdle and that you could get Watkins out of Aston Villa, how much is it going to cost? Well, it's going to cost a lot of money. 50 million at least, I would reckon, is how much you would get Ollie Watkins out of Villa Park. That's just not good value. That's not feasible. If we had an unlimited budget, this is probably the player that I'd pick. But we don't have an unlimited budget. Now, saying that, there's somebody later on in the video that's even more expensive than Ollie Watkins probably. But I'm going to defend that later on in the video when I cover him. But if I had a blank check, Ollie Watkins would be my pick. But I just don't think it's good value. I think he's too expensive for us. Now, I must confess, if I did this video at the end of the season, this player wouldn't be in it. But about a month ago, we got linked to him very sporadically. The rumours disappeared, they've not come back. However, it got me a little bit excited and intrigued. It intrigued me. But in the last 24 or 48 hours, been really strongly linked to Danjuma of Villarreal. And I think if we sign him, I would love to see us go after this player. And that is Junior Adamu of Red Bull Salzburg. Remember him? We linked to him about a month ago. Now, I don't think he's ready for the Premier League. From what I've seen, and I've seen a bit of him, not loads, but a bit, I don't think he's ready for the Premier League. But it doesn't mean he can't be. It doesn't mean in a couple of years' time he will be ready for the Premier League. So I would have liked to sign him on his own and have Antonio and Adamu as the options up front next season. I think it would be a little bit risky, that. However, Danjuma, Antonio and Adamu is a big yes for me. Because they're also then flexible, them three. You can use more than just one of them on the pitch at the same time. In theory, you could have Antonio up front, Danjuma on the left and Adamu on the bench. Sorted. Give him his experience, get him ready. a fee of roughly around about 10 million would be enough to get him from Salzburg. However, if he goes somewhere else and he makes it and he fulfills that potential that people believe he's got, he's worth 30-40 million. So it's sort of like, should we buy him now just in case he's good enough? I think we should, providing he's not the only striker we bring in this summer. Now, this player is the expensive one, but I've just got almost like an emotional attachment to him. I'm almost like a fan of the player. Do you know those players you get, for whatever reason, they don't play for your club, they don't play for your country, but you end up watching them, really enjoying watching them play, and you just have this burning desire to see them come to your club. It might be because they excite you, it might be because you think that they're going to go on and do big things in football, so you want your club to go get them now while they can afford them before it becomes unrealistic. You just have this love for a player like Danny Ings. It's not Danny Ings, by the way. I've just realised that this is a striker video. Just for clarity, it's not Danny Ings I'm referring to here, but it's very similar to Danny Ings for me. And that is Alexander Isak. Now the old Hammers Chat subscribers are going, I knew you were ready to say him, because I've wanted him at West Ham for 3 years now. I'm just trying to work out what year we're currently in. I'd never seen him play for Dortmund, never seen him prior to Dortmund. But then he went over to the Netherlands on loan and went to play for Willem. Is it Willem 2 or Willem II? I don't know how you pronounce it. Sounds like Black Eyed Peas, the Dutch Black Eyed Peas club, isn't it? Willem II. Let's just call them that. He went over there and I saw him play for them. One game I was watching. They must have been playing Ajax or PSV for me to watch them. And he just looked really good. And I thought, who's this guy? Who is Alexander Isak? I was pronouncing it wrong back then. I mean, not that my pronunciations are anything to write home about now, but now I know it's Isak. And I just sort of like kept my eye on him. And he was unbelievable. He scored like 15 goals in 15 games or something for them. And I thought, oh, let's get him to West Ham. Obviously, he's not making it at Dortmund. Hopefully, we can go get him. Went to Real Sociedad. A bit disappointed. I don't know why. Not that West Ham were ever going to sign him, but a bit disappointed anyway. Went to Real Sociedad. Then the fee was about 12 million or something. I thought, what? Hang on out. Surely that's a mistake. But no, off he went. And he looked really good then. I thought he looked really good at Euros. Last season, not the best season for him though. About 6 goals in the league. It's nothing to write home about. But still just 22 years of age. And I still believe that he will be one of the best strikers in the world one day. He's certainly got the potential. He's definitely showing the ability that he's got. He's fast. He's with the ball at his feet. He's fantastic. His dribbling is unbelievable at times. He's not too shabby in the air either. He's got everything that we would love at West Ham United. The only problem is the price. Apparently around about 75 million. I mean, I'm aware it's unrealistic, by the way. That's the point of the series, isn't it? Strongly linked with Arsenal. I'll tell you what, I don't want to see him for an English club. I don't know why. It almost just hurt me a little bit here if I see Isak playing for another Premier League club that's not West Ham. But he's somebody, if money was no option, you know when you build your dream teams and stuff and you try and keep it slightly realistic, Isak would be the one that I bring to West Ham United, because 75 million is a lot of money, but he's 22 years of age. You'd be getting a striker for over a decade, which then equates to 7 million a season. That's quite cheap. Yeah, I don't even think 75 million is too big a price for the player that you'd be buying. I think he's exceptional, to be honest with you. And I think that's why I've sort of was mesmerised when I first saw him, because he just looked the best player on the pitch by a country mile. And back then, he was only 18 or 19 years old as well. Like I said, hasn't quite lived up to his potential at Real Sociedad yet. But I think it's easy to forget he's only 22 years of age. And at West Ham, would love him. He's got speed, he's got power, he's got goals, he's got Premier League experience. He's only 20 years old. Of course, it's Armando Broja, on loan at Southampton last season from Chelsea. Now, 12 months ago, Chelsea were happy to sell players. We had Livramento going to Southampton. We had Tammy Abraham joining Roma. AC Milan triggered the clause for Tomori. We signed Kurt Zuma. Mark Guy went to Crystal Palace. I mean, Chelsea made some big mistakes last summer when it came to selling players. But one player they didn't make a mistake on was Broja. Now, he intrigued me last summer because clubs were trying to get him. And Chelsea were saying, nope, you're not having him. He's part of our plans. And they played him a lot in pre-season. And he was scoring for Chelsea in pre-season. That caught my attention. Why are Chelsea not getting rid of this guy? Why are Chelsea refusing to sell this player? And like I said, he was scoring goals. So that intrigued me. I had a little look at him with his pre-season highlights. Looked good, looked sharp, looked big. And then I sort of had a little look at how he got on in the Netherlands the season before at Vitesse. So it intrigued me. Then Southampton got him on loan because obviously Lukaku then came to Chelsea. So oh well, your appearances are going to be limited, but they still refused to sell him. They've made the right call because he's worth a lot more now. Supposedly around the 30 million bracket, but now's the time you can sign him, because if he has 2 more solid seasons in the Premier League, better than last season, that first 6 months we saw at Southampton, if he can replicate that for 2 seasons consecutively, how much is he going to be worth? 60 million at least. He's homegrown as well. He was obviously born in England, represents Albania, but because he came through Chelsea's academy, that's what triggers the homegrown clause. He is a homegrown striker, just 20 years of age. It's a no-brainer, right? Second last striker of the video before we get on to the one that's been a bit crap recently, but still wouldn't mind West Ham United. That's Breel Embolo of Gladbach. Now, a few years ago, I was really excited about the front three with Embolo player and Thuram. I thought they were going to go on and be world class individually and as a trio. And while they've been good, they've been solid. They perhaps haven't hit the heights that I expected, but that might be my expectations being a little bit too high. However, in the last couple of seasons, I feel that Embolo's really come into his own, is really fulfilling his potential. 25 years of age now, and he's just got everything that we need. He's got the power, he's got the pace, he can play across anywhere in that front three, so down the middle, the right, the left. Fine, he's capable in all 3 positions. His creativity levels are fantastic, creates loads of chances for his teammate, scores goals as well. 9 goals in the Bundesliga last season for Gladbach. They finished mid-table, but I think that's, like I said, this is where I think they had a good team, and that front three was the ones that stood out, especially a few seasons ago. Never really quite done it for me, but he's gettable. Only 12 months to go on his contract. There were some reports in Germany last month that he's actually got 2 years, and then quite unusually, the sporting director came out and said, nah, it's only 1 year. He's only got 1 year to go. So I don't know if he's drumming up the interest, because obviously they need to sell him now if they want to get any fee. But that front three of Gladbach is going to get picked apart, because Player and Thuram are also expected to leave with just a year to go in their contracts too. So not a great situation for them, but presents a really good opportunity for clubs like West Ham to take advantage of it. And I would love to see us take advantage of that. And Embolo obviously plays for Switzerland in the national team. He is the national team, not just the squad, the actual starting 11. There's a difference, isn't there? Like, to West Ham it up, David Moyes is in the England squad, Declan Rice is in the England team. There's a slight difference as far as I'm concerned. Well, Embolo is in the Switzerland team, starts for them, becoming a really important player for them as well. And I just think he would fit West Ham. Like, there's been more emphasis, do you not feel? We probably don't help at Hammers Chat, myself and Gonzo, but certainly in the last 18 months, there's been more emphasis on this sort of like, well, what are they like as a person? Because David Moyes buys a person as well as a player with the Moyes MOT testing. And if you were to look at Embolo, you think, oh, not sure about that. He's got in trouble a couple of times. One was for COVID. He broke COVID rules. Apparently, he was at a party with no mask on. He denied that. He said, I wasn't there. I was actually over here. And where he was saying he was still breaking the rules. So he got a fine for it. And then he's had a driving ban for being caught on his mobile phone. But he just works incredibly hard on the pitch. And off it, while that's obviously negative, well, there's positivity too. He's had his charity in Switzerland from a really young age, which helps out kids that have gone to Switzerland as refugees. That charity helps those children. So for the bad side of it, there's good sides of it as well. Had a bit of an bad injury record a few seasons ago, but it looks like he's over that now. He's injury free for a couple of seasons, so it's ticking all the boxes in Embolo for me. I would love to see him at West Ham. I think he'd be on the move this summer, possibly to the Premier League, because his characteristics, what he's like as a player, certainly suits the Premier League, and I would love to see him here. And the last player statistically doesn't look great. 3 goals last season, 3 goals the season prior to that. The season before that he was injured for the whole year. It doesn't sound too good so far. And I almost bottled not including him in the video because I haven't seen enough of him in the last 2 seasons. Now you can guess what league he plays in, can't you? Yes, he plays for Lille, and that's Timothy Weah. Now, yes, son of George, by the way. He arrived at Celtic a few seasons ago on loan from PSG with big expectations. You know, you're the son of George Weah and you play for PSG. Come on then, what you got? You must have something about you. And he looked like he had something about him. He impressed me a lot. Bear in mind he was only 18, 19 years old at most at the time. And I thought, wow, alright, this kid's got something. I'm going to keep an eye out for him. So his season was cut short. He had to go play for America at the Under-20s World Cup. And off he went. That summer he moved to Lille on a permanent transfer, where he still is. But the season that followed, he was out for the whole year. He got like a 6-month injury. He came back. In his comeback game, he got injured and was out for the rest of the season. I think he played about 2 games in his first season. But he's been back now, 2 full seasons under his belt, fully recovered, playing plenty of games and minutes for Lille. Mainly on the wing though, hence his goal scoring record. Picking up a few assists though, 5 assists last season, mainly playing on the right. And I haven't seen enough of him to sit here, so my summary already is he's not one of my picks. But the reason I'm putting him out is because A, I'd like to hear about him from people that do watch him, and B, he's somebody that's just intrigued me when I first saw him. So much so, do you know these football cards? Hang on a minute. I don't know if anyone collects these, I'm just going completely off tangent. But these football cards, I've got a handful of them. I don't have loads, just the West Ham ones. So there's Fabianski with his signature match-worn shirt. I've got, a few other players. Who we got here? Balbuena, remember him? Remember Balbuena? And Creswell. So I like these football cards, right? I've got my Timothy Weah one, his rookie card as well. And that was my big one. I was like, I want one of them. And somebody that I know, a good friend of mine, sent me my Timothy Weah card. So yeah, anyway, bit off tangent. So I've always just been intrigued by Timothy Weah. So if you watch Lille, let me know how he's been getting on. But he's somebody that I thought would make it in football big time. Just 22 years of age, he can still go on and make it. He's had a decent career so far, I guess. He's the first player in the 2000s to play for America, the 4th or 5th youngest ever goal scorer as well. But I've just had big hopes for him. His dad sort of helps a little bit, doesn't he? So yeah, he's not my pick. I just wanted to show off my card, really, didn't I? So there you go. There's my shortlist. Get involved in the comments below. Let me know which striker you would love to see at West Ham United as well. I'm looking forward to reading your comments and finding out some players I've never heard of before. But my pick is Embolo. I think he's perfect for the way that we play today. I don't think he'd cost a ridiculous amount of money. If we only needed to sign one player this summer, if we only needed a striker and we had 70 million to spend, I'd go after Alexander Isak. But that's not the situation we're in. We've already spent 35-40 million to bring in 2 players, and we still need a further 5. We can't afford to spend tens and tens and tens of million on one player. So we are around the 20 to 40 million pound ballpark for the best or the biggest signings this summer. And Embolo fits that, I think. I think you'd get him for that from Gladbach with 1 year to go. So he is my pick for this video. Anyway, if you enjoyed this, please do drop a like on and subscribe if you're new to the channel. We've got episode 5 will be attacking midfielders, and there might be an episode 6. Then episode 7 will be sort of the final wish list as well. But thank you very much for joining me on this video. Massively appreciate it. Catch you tomorrow.